Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 62 of the It's Strategy podcast.
What's
Well,
up,
all
y'all?
things, yes, sir. So, if you guys are new, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely shout this out. Every single week, we'll be doing these. And with that being said, let's get the first thing right off the chest. Kazuchika Okada, who's been in the news as of recently, as according to Sports Illustrated, has been, we say more confirmed to be set to become a free agent. I think out of this year, I think it's at the end of this year. I think.
You can speculate. There's a lot of speculations with this man. There's been speculations for a little bit, even though his contract hadn't been up yet. People knew that he only had, I think, a few months left in the contract. That's when they started speculating. Oh, Okada's going to WWE. Okada's going here. Okada's going there. For me, I would
I
just
think
like
he's
to. I would just like to wait. Wait
yeah.
until somebody snaps him.
Now,
Because I'm
if you
not gonna
ask us what
sit
our
there.
prediction is, for me, I think he's staying with New Japan. For some reason, my gut telling me he's going to find a way to sign with New Japan.
I feel like I'm going the same route. I feel like I'm going the same route here. I think he's not leaving New
I
Japan. We're gonna
I'll
work
be
another
shocked if he
deal.
does go to WWE. I'll be shocked if he does.
If he, yeah, because you know how WWE is. That they're notorious for booking poorly a lot of the Asian wrestlers
Yeah,
of that descent. I mean, Japanese wrestlers getting shafted, Chinese wrestlers getting shafted over there. Like there's a lot of talent that just get shafted by them if you're of Asian descent.
yeah,
But
but not as much as now with Triple H under control. Because I mean, look at what Shinsuke's been
yeah,
doing.
dude, Akira Tozawa's back being
I mean, he may be a
he's
comedy
on
character,
TV
but
every week now.
they are actually giving him something to do for a
They're
change.
giving him something to do every week on Raw. Asuka's back being a prominent
You know,
player in the company. It
Kyrie saying I think it's too early to tell what they're going to be doing with her, but I
Kyrie
do think
just got,
there's.
yeah, Kyrie just got signed, so it's too early to tell. They're trying to, I
But
mean, they're trying to do something with her with damage control. They're trying to do something with her. They're doing
as
something. They made Io Sky the damn world champion there. The damn
yeah,
women's world. I mean, it's not the women's world title. I shouldn't say that, but she's women. She's a women's champion there.
yeah, but I think
Um,
at this, but yeah, so
and
it's
yeah,
going to be
you can
interesting.
make a case, and yeah, you can make the case. Asuka was one of the champions, but
Yeah,
at one point, but her reign was like weak at
yeah,
times.
it just
Both
didn't
both
feel.
reigns were weak, but you know, whatever. But
It's not
they're
like we're
finally
not
doing
saying that she's
something.
not. And to piggyback at Tyler, it's like we're not trying to say Asuka's not a bad champion by any stretch of the means,
No,
but
it
it's
has
just
nothing to do with her. It has everything to do with how they booked her.
yeah,
This has nothing to do with, oh, she's a bad champion and stuff like that. Like they
not at
the
all.
company the company quite literally wrote her to be that way, to be
Because
a
I mean,
bad champion. A champion
ex-
that people didn't get behind. Like the thing is, I liked her reign in NXT better than
on the
her
main
her,
roster,
her one long ass reign in NXT than her two reigns as champ. You know, and the only reason why she was even in her second reign, she was pretty much a transitional champ in a sense, if you really
yeah,
think about it, to get the belt back on Bianca.
yeah,
And and yes, I love Bianca. Don't get me wrong. I think Bianca down the line should be a champ again. I really think she should. But
currently right
I,
now it's
I didn't like how they used Asuka as a plot device to you know to make her a transitional champion, like she didn't matter.
yeah, which that kind of rubs a lot of people the wrong way. But going
But
back to
I really do think Okada is staying.
yeah, I'd be crazy enough. He'd be crazy enough to even come across here to America And then
Now,
again,
now another if he doesn't go to Japan, if he doesn't stay in Japan, I don't think he is going to WWE. I feel like the more realistic sign, and I think it's kind of a dumb signing because AEW needs to stop signing people, is him going to AEW.
for some reason, for me,
That's the more realistic option that I have for that. But the thing is that if I were him, I would either stay in Japan or go to WWE because AEW
or
needs to stop signing people. It's too bloated there.
well, that too, and also, weigh out your other options. Like, do you want to go to test out the indie circuit, like do some indie dates, that sort of thing?
Yeah, do the Japanese indie scene if they have an indie scene there. Go
Exactly. It's like,
to hell. You can even jump ship to Pro Wrestling Noah.
hell, why the hell not? Like, there's a bunch of opportunities outside of just WWE and AEW. Hell, that's it's like, look,
Like,
we can't make the decision for him. That's
yeah, it's up to him what he does, and we can speculate all day of where he goes, but that
but
doesn't
it's
mean that it's happening.
yeah,
Like, like,
absolutely.
I know everybody speculates and oh, this guy's going to this company or this guy's going to this company. Like things like that do happen, and sometimes
Yeah.
they are right. Like people said, oh, CM Punk is going back to WWE.
I mean,
People
if he would told us about,
to me,
say,
dude, to me, like that sounded far fetched
oh, that
because
really was far fetched.
but and also the same thing with Edge now Adam Copeland going to AEW. That sounded far fetched.
Oh yeah, because
And we will be releasing a video Wednesday afternoon, by the way, shameless
yeah,
plug, on the craziest
I was
2 to 3 years of wrestling. Of wrestling, dude.
it really is because the landscape
Because a lot of things that you
you never
know, it seemed far fetched. It seemed far fetched.
case in
Like
point, like I said, Adam Copeland jumping ship, CM Punk coming back to WWE after
10 years. 10 years, 9, 10 years. It's like,
yeah, it's
Jesus.
been
Yeah,
it's soon
and
to be
like
10
I
years
said
come next.
on yeah, come next year it'll be 10 years because the last time he showed up was 2014, early 2014.
Shout,
I was literally in high school the last time using the company
and I'll say
in
this
high
too
school.
before we move on. Even though, like I said, we talk about our buddy Gully a lot, but sometimes I hate how sometimes he's right most 99% of the time. The fact he called that right on the freaking dot still bugs me.
He's
He
like
says like,
CM Punk's. I think he said it early in when we were making our picks and predictions, right? Or you were making our picks for
yeah,
picks and predictions. We were making our he predicted. He's like at the end of the show, keep a lookout because CM Punk's returning. What the fuck happened in the
and
show? CM Punk came back. I'm like,
I was like,
motherfucker,
what is wrestling right about now in the year 2023?
dude. What's been wrestling the last 3 years?
You ain't kidding.
Like
But
first you had the COVID shit, then 2021 you had freaking Vince retiring, unretiring, then
and that
retiring again, and then
debacle,
you had 2022 Punk comes back to freaking wrestling. Period. Like in general, fucking wrestling, he's back, and then you have and all this other crazy stuff. You have freaking Triple H's first reign as head booker. All
oh
this other
yeah,
crazy shit. The whole all out brawl shit. Him leaving, and then 2023 we have Vince is back out of the fucking company.
and
TKO buys the damn company.
we're seeing, the like a whole different, what the product, what how Triple H would have seen it in his first 6 months, and now we're seeing, got some stars are getting their chances, others, that try to, but it's really not really working out. But speaking of another one, since we're going to stick with going to WWE real quick, I know a lot of fans are anticipated to see Jade Cargill to get in the ring, but she pretty much tells you, trust the process. And as me and Tyler put it, because there's not much thing she needs to. I mean,
she needs
yeah,
to she
there's
needs
some.
to iron out the wrestling skills. She needs to iron that out.
No, yeah,
And even Triple H says it. Like her time, like, training is very limited. She doesn't have that much to do because of
I,
how far she has come the last few years.
that is true.
It's very limited. She has the character work down. She has the promo skills down. She needs to just iron out
Just
the wrestling. That's
because I
very
mean,
limited shit that she has to do.
and you can't tell me otherwise. When you look at her from a character standpoint, she pretty much screams superstar pretty much right away
She's a
because
fucking star.
uh,
She's like when you look at
and
her and when you look at her, like not just like her character, but her build.
like
She's jacked. She is jacked to the freaking gills, bro. Like
and it's like kind of
it,
crazy that
it's like, but in terms of character work and how she looks, how she presents herself, she's a main event player in that women's division.
oh easy.
She's a
Just I
main
mean
event player.
just as we said, she's got to sure trying to put this in an analogy. Basically, shape up the rough edges, as
Yeah,
I
shape
would
off
put
the
it.
little, because she does botch a little bit, like a little bit of botches here and there. We do caught like, yeah, she needs to iron that out a bit. Like, I'm not gonna say, oh, she suck, like all these fans saying, oh, she sucks as a wrestler. She's not a good wrestler. Like early on, she wasn't. I will say that, but with
And
time, she got better as they kept building her up the way they did. She
yeah,
kept she was in she was in good matches with people that she trusted in the ring,
I mean,
and also backstage, she's not causing issues.
nah. I
She
mean, she doesn't look like the kind of person
she
that
looks
will cause a lot
she
of
looks like
problems.
no, and plus off screen, off in like off screen out of character, she's one of the nicest human beings ever.
She's a total sweetheart, even though I'm kind of jealous of Red
Imagine,
Phyllis, but
dude, imagine like and that kind of person, how she's like a sweetheart to the fans, sweetheart to to anybody.
yeah,
Um,
you know,
like look at how WWE is. They're for the kids first,
even
as
though
opposed to our 2 hours. We already covered that, so we're not going to beat into that.
Ooh,
Today's WWE,
woo,
today's WWE guys, they are kid
and
first. They are
and
kid first. That's why they're PG. They are kid first. They
and it's
put the
also
kids first.
and as Tyler would put this too, because it's kind of crazy too. Like some of the badass heels are like the
Yeah,
nicest people off camera, which
they're nice.
I was
They're
like,
nice as hell. I'm like, what the hell? You have freaking Alexa Bliss helping a kid with with freaking eating disorders. I'm like, what the fuck? She's a bad guy on TV. What the hell?
oh, and I've seen even and as much as I know we hate Roman Reigns, but the dude
Bro,
is a dude's a total is a great guy from what I'm seeing on social
great
media and
guy.
stuff like that.
Great dude. Great dude. Same thing with people like Jimmy and Jay. They're nice dudes off of TV. Who else?
Um,
Grayson Waller's always in character, so I have no fucking idea what that dude.
I got no issues with that whatsoever. And
I got no issue with that, but I have no fucking idea with him because he's
um,
always in character.
like Austin
Um,
Theory, when I watch some of his,
Austin Theory, dude. That one video took me by surprise when he was talking to a kid.
that's like,
I think it was a kid. I think it was a kid in a wheelchair or some shit.
I think it might have been
And I'm like, holy shit, this guy is actually a fucking sweetheart, and he's a bad guy on TV.
like it really
Like, dude,
it blows your mind of how
the
how
bad
you get
guys.
badass heels are like the greatest people behind off camera.
It's always the bad guys, man. Always. Who are the
um,
nicest human beings off TV? It's like, what the fuck? But
but
yeah, back to what were we talking about?
Jay Cargill.
Jay Cargill. Yes.
Hey, already had a brain fart. We're almost
No,
60.
because we went, dude. No, it's not. We were going way off the path. I forgot the initial topic.
Yeah, so it's pretty much Jade Cargill kind of speaks about, people are anticipating her WWE debut. Pretty much said, I think that the fans should be patient. You shouldn't rush success. That's basically what she
Yeah,
said in nut.
and
I mean,
she is absolutely right. She's absolutely right. Now, this is what's going to make her even more of a star. The fact that the fans have to wait. When she debuts, how long the fans have been waiting, how long the fans have been clamoring, she's going to get a pop
I
because we've
mean,
waited so long. Like, look at the whole Punk thing. We've waited so long for that guy to return. Look at
give
the
him
Randy Orton thing. We were clamoring for him to
the
return
return.
after a year and a half, and he popped. He got a pop.
Yeah,
And that's the same thing with Jade.
and
Let's
you could
let's
tell.
wait a while. Let's wait. Let's wait until we're clamoring at the bit
Yeah, and
for her to come to WWE and be on TV.
And sticking with Jay Cargill a little bit, I mean, for those who have not seen, because I mean, she has made some on-screen appearances, but you could hear the crowd reaction she gets. Not even wrestling when she first made
Dude,
her tell.
it's like the 3 weeks where she was just walking backstage.
It,
Like, dude, she's
like,
already getting a pop. But that's
I,
pop. Like I said, man, the
but
fans gonna have to wait, and for as long as they have to wait, they're gonna have to wait
I'm
a long time. But when that time comes, and they're really wanting her to come to the arena and make her debut, and they can speculate, oh, she's debuting here. They're already doing that. Oh, she's debuting at Survivor Series. Oh, she's debuting here. She's debuting there. When she
exactly.
actually makes her, when they find out they're actually right, they are going to lose
Oh, we're gonna lose
their
our shit.
ever living shit. They're gonna lose it.
So another thing too, like say, okay, so when she does make her debut, so the question probably everybody's is going to ask, where's she going? Is she going to go to Raw, NXT, or are we going or to SmackDown? For some
She's For me, she screams SmackDown to me. For me, she screams SmackDown.
I think I was going to say Raw because I think the Raw women's roster needs that star.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, they do need that marquee star, but Rhea's that star.
yeah,
Rhea's
true.
that star. But the problem is they need a. Then again, you're probably right because they need a second star.
Because I
Yeah,
mean,
they have Becky there, but she's already been fans already think been there, done that with her.
yeah,
And I
and
think
you got some up and coming stars like Zoe Stark. You got Raquel Rodriguez. No, she's on SmackDown. Essentially,
yeah,
Raquel. What, whatever. But I think overall, if she does go to Raw, boy, and when the time comes for her to want to get championship gold, give me fucking Rhea and Jay Cargill on a pay per view main event, easy. I'm sorry, you can't tell me that screen that's gonna really bring people in. I would say, but and as Tyler put it, and as Jay puts as well, patience is key. And you really because
since
boy, I mean
like that saying goes, patience is a virtue, and you got to embrace the patience.
because and me and Tyler can attest to we've seen superstars get rushed very quickly, and we can see how quickly it can crash and burn in a snap of a finger. And I think what WWE is doing right now is some good stuff with her. Just like try not to rush her because boy, that would be bad automatically. Would be a bad look. But sticking overall, we got Ricochet. Obviously we talked about it the last couple of weeks. He's kind of been out with a concussion, but obviously over this past weekend has returned to in-ring competition from that as well, from the concussion protocol. It's great to see him as well. It would be nice to see him do more. But maybe I'm just
Now
nitpicking a little bit
he's been given a prominent push in WWE. He's on Raw every week, except for the week he got hurt. But he got hurt. But before he got hurt, he was on TV prominently. You know, he had that feud with Logan Paul that one time, and after that feud, he was hurt. So I feel like his booking has gotten way better. It's gotten better. Um,
And for those who have been around the channel a long time, yeah, how many times me and like, push him.
For the
uh,
last like, but the thing is though, before that, he like it was like 2020, 2020. Yeah, it was 2020 when we really got pissed off
yeah, that
because he
was
was on TV for like a week, had a solid match, and he's off TV. He's on main event for like 6 months, and he's back on TV,
and then he's back on the main event for the next few
back on
months or
main
so.
event for another
It's been
six
up
months.
and
And
down, up and down, up and down. So I was
I'm
like,
like, what the
stop.
hell? To push this guy, and then he has a feud on a literal feud on main event against Ali.
Yeah, and that's not
That
saying
could have been
much.
on Raw. I'm like, are you?
Easy.
I'm like, they had no clue what to do with the guy. They had no clue. And then now they're put now under the Triple H regime. This was under the Vince regime when this was going on. Triple H regime comes along. He's on TV for like a good 6 months,
A very and very and puts them some
and it
spectacular
was
matches nonetheless.
and it was consistent. He wasn't on TV one week and then he's on the show no one cares about. Then he's on TV every week, constantly for 6 months before he got hurt. Not even 6 months,
Oh,
even more than that.
yeah, which I think
He
almost to a year before he got hurt.
almost a year, consistently on Raw in a feud, in multiple feuds. The last match he was in a fatal 4-way match for the U.S. title. For the U.S. title number one
It
contendership.
was for the IC.
Again,
It was the IC title
or the
number.
IC one, yeah,
Yep.
the IC number one contendership, and that was the match he got hurt on. That's the thing. He's now getting a prominent push. Is he winning the big matches yet? No, but they'll make him grow into that. Okay, now we
Yeah,
trust you to get a prominent title push.
because it's like the dude. Like I said, no matter what feud you put him in or any matchups you put him in, he still could put on a spectacular match nonetheless. Um, like I said, I mean, if he could, and it's like Triple H actually knows what he's doing with some of these wrestlers that haven't really gotten their big break, so to speak. And I think Ricochet is just really it's knocking on that door, becoming to what he can be as a true superstar and another main eventer because the WWE's product the last was it 8-9 months, give or take, because I think I lost count, has been consistent. NXT has been slightly better in terms of their how they doing their product. SmackDown could use a little work. Even though
Yeah,
that's not a
SmackDown's been very up and down lately, like very up and down. But like SmackDown has been kind of
eh,
meh. That's
it's
the
not like it's
problem.
like super terrible, but it's like med to the point where it's like you can actually
Yeah,
sit through a decent episode of
like it's
SmackDown.
passable, but it's like it could have been better. You know,
Yeah,
could have
but
been a
Raw,
little bit better. Raw, oh my god,
that's
damn near
like
amazing.
it's like consistent every week. Last week they almost drew 2 million viewers on the last week episode of Raw.
That's because of Punk. It's not because Raw was good, which Raw was good, but it was because of Punk. Punk drew the
Um,
ratings.
Speaking of Raw, there will be facing some stronger competition next week, and it's not from the wrestling side of things, but they're going to go up against the two slated Monday Night Football games on as well. So,
Bet you both those games suck.
we'll talk. Like I say, we'll touch more on the Monday Night Football on a different show on our other show.
They probably both suck, so it probably won't matter because a lot of primetime games suck. But here's the thing: that was only because of Punk, but also they were able to put him at the end. But the reason why they still had that was that was great. That was a great tool because they put him at the tail end of the show. If the show was bad, they would still lose ratings,
Oh, easy.
regardless if people were waiting on Punk or not. They would still lose ratings because the show was bad, and they would only just tune back in to see Punk's promo.
And
Now, since the show was actually really good, they've garnered more than 1 million viewers. They got
yeah,
2 million. So that's great. That's honestly great to hear.
they,
Knowing that. And that's how good Raw has been.
and obviously, if you saw us in the past, boy, you know how we
We
always
dude,
constantly
we had
nitpick,
comments saying, "Why do you always keep dogging Raw?"
and yeah,
It was because for that stretch of from the time we started doing Raw watch parties to now,
it's
from then to like I would say a few months ago, Raw was garbage,
yeah,
and I'm sitting there bored out of my mind trying to get through a Monday Night Raw.
and And for me, I've never actually had to leave a stream because I actually literally fell asleep. Like Raw at times, like I would say before Raw, not this current Raw, but the before, like I think it was still under the Vince McMahon regime. It was lull, dull, whatever you want to call it, because SmackDown during that period was actually better than Raw.
There's been a few times where we outright skipped Raw.
Yeah, because
And,
I
and,
because I
and now it's like we don't even wanna like we even question should we do a Monday Night Football game this week because Raw looks good every damn week now.
yeah.
It's like holy shit.
Um, yeah, it
But
really is. Speaking of, so we had some more news, more stars who are actually getting bigger prominent pushes. Something I think is more. It's I'm not surprised that they're going to push. So it's the pair of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. So originally they
dude,
didn't. So here's the.
for some reason, the Grayson Waller rub is real, and
Yeah.
Austin Theory has got a lot of that rub because he's gotten more charisma than ever.
So obviously Andrew Ravens pretty much said start SmackDown starts to play a strong role through WrestleMania after WWE changed ways. So pretty much this was supposed to be like a short term thing between these two, but now
The fans start to love it.
and now as you know, so in recent months, Grace Waller has been paired with Austin Theory. Waller was last seen in action on television when he lost to Kevin Owens the last week's SmackDown. After the fact that when that's the same SmackDown that unfortunately Kevin Owens broke his hand. That was very
Yeah,
unfortunate.
that
Which is
was unfortunate. But dude,
um
but the funny thing is, before you move on, the funny thing is, I like the segment on the Grayson Waller effect where they had Kevin Owens there. He goes, when you say a person's name, they come out.
yeah,
It was
and
funny
it's
though.
but and obviously and before we can even continue, because me and Tara, we always had this where we always had this thoughts like because every time we get to see NXT calls, like, crap, here we go again.
And
Because it's like,
there's still the odd crap. Here we go again with the bullshit because again, Indy's getting screwed. Candace,
uh,
I mean, Candace, I don't think it's her fault. I think it's just the character
yeah,
isn't
the
right for the
character
main roster.
she's got to get repackaged.
It's not right for her. To get over with. You know? Who else? Where the hell is Dexter fucking Loomis?
I have no
Where
clue.
the hell is that guy? Um, also, who else?
It's really not really much, especially under the Triple H regime.
Not really that much, but there's still some that get screwed. But here's the thing, though. Not everybody's gonna get a push, and I
Yeah,
get that.
like
But
because for me,
you
because like look, don't get me wrong, I like Indy, but I don't think she's ready for the main roster just yet because I
I
think there's
don't,
still
I
some little
don't.
rough edges, I guess you could say.
The
Um,
promos, I listened to her promos in NXT. Boy, is she rough on the mic. She's rough.
very.
I
And
hate to
we're not saying just to pick on her, but say, look, we'll just if
gotta
there's like
work
a
on
certain
it.
weaknesses that because like I said, it's kind of hard because me and Tyler at times, yeah, we're general wrestling fans, but we'll point out something that's like perfect example. Well, mostly Tyler we've been harping on this person. Jamie Hayter, when she first broke in, and
She wasn't good in the ring. She just wasn't good in the ring. She was,
I was like,
and we
ugh,
didn't even hear her speak yet until a little bit. And then I'm like, we heard her speak. I'm like, all right, the promo's there.
that's just
The ring work is just not yet. And then she got better and better. And when she got better, we started to trust her. And then the company, AEW, started to trust her.
and
And then unfortunately, she got hurt. I'm like, motherfucker.
it's like you had the old great momentum going down, boom, hits the injury bug. It's like, God
Hit
damn.
the injury bug. She broke her freaking arm or did something to her arm. I'm like, oh,
I think it's a shoulder injury, and
yeah, she did something to her shoulder. I'm like, shit. She was the champ too.
like,
Shit. And we were really starting to get in, like, okay, Jamie Hayter has something.
yeah, like there's potential there. That's what I was like, no, why is it got to be an injury site? You had to take it away from us.
And why did it have to be the fucking champ that we were starting to get behind?
But yeah, but as we're like I said, I thought Waller actually has done pretty solid since he got called up.
Oh, Waller, he's been one of their stars. I know he's in a lot of the filler spots. I get that.
I mean, you got at least got to start somewhere when you get called up to the main roster.
Hell, I was just happy he was in like U.S. title invitationals every week.
Yeah,
where he was fighting for number one contendership for the U.S. title every week. I was fine with that. I know he wasn't winning, but I was fine with him just being in that spot.
But the company, and these are not like like jobber losses, but these are like for him, it's always like hard fought with him. And
for me, this actually does feel like the wrestling term "paying your dues" is.
Yeah, it really
this is paying your dues in competitive matches, but you're losing them. But the fans are really starting to get behind you, so he only has to work on, getting better in those spots, and he has.
Oh, easy.
And there wasn't really any room for improvement in those spots. He's just getting his due. Yeah, he's losing competitive matches, but he's in competitive matches. He's not losing 2-second matches. Like being an outright jobber.
Yeah.
Paying his dues to start out. And then once he gets enough fanfare, which he's getting fanfare, people love the guy, he will get more prominent pushes.
Oh yeah. Like I said, it's baby steps with some of these NXT calls.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. Look at let's go back to 2015. Look where and Becky Lynch kind of did the same. Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks. When you look at that entire Four Horsemen, they had to pay their dues, and look where they are now.
Except for Charlotte.
Well, Charlotte, yeah, that's a whole
other. She immediately got the Divas title in 2015 because she's a
God, what? That's a God, why was that even a thing back then? Too, the tramp stamp belt, as Tyler would put it.
The thing, I swear to you,
it's I'm not. I can't unsee it now.
Dude, I swear to you, Rob. I swear to you.
I can't unsee
that
it.
That shit looks like a butterfly tattoo that a woman would get on her lower back. That's called a fucking tramp stamp, by the way.
Oh, I literally can't unsee it. But that's here nor there. I'm glad they gone away with that because.
Oh my god, dude, that shit looks like a legit butterfly tattoo that a woman would get. I'm telling you, it is.
And that's the thing too. And we always have said this too. The future in WWE looks super bright.
Oh my god, it's so bright that it nearly blinds me.
You're probably asking, who could be who's the future? You're probably wondering. Well, that depends on it. Really, it depends.
It's subjective. That question it's subjective. You could say, "Oh, Seth's the face," or Roman's the face, or Grayson Waller's the face, or anybody in that spot.
Yeah,
could be the face. In
terms of the future, going forward, once say if Seth ever hangs it up, Roman hangs it up, and some of these others who's been there for the longest time in the early 2010s.
No, I still think when Braun Breaker eventually gets this call up, he's going to be the face.
Oh, easy. For those who don't watch him down at NXT,
and I think it's going to be Braun and Carmelo that are the faces of the company.
Yeah, I can't.
Braun and Carmelo being the faces of the company. I see that. But a lot of the undercard too, they're great talent. Grayson Waller.
And you're actually Grayson Waller, like you said.
Your Austin Theories. I'm starting to really like Austin Theory.
Yeah, and because we talked about, I think last about like more than handful of weeks ago, because John Cena actually, I thought he actually spoke really, I thought he actually spoke the truth on Austin Theory, not because like he's like,
He
look,
was basically saying to him, like, I know it was a promo and he was dissing him. It sounded like a diss, but really he was really giving him advice like, listen, you got to change something.
yeah,
Because
there's
something isn't working for you, bud.
because the crowd's not buying into what you're selling.
Crowd's
So,
not buying into you, man. You got to change something, dude. Like, he was
and,
telling him that, but like, he was on TV telling him something, so it just sounded like a diss. Because,
oh
of course,
yeah,
he's in a feud. But really, he was giving him advice like, dude, you got to change something.
because
Dude, this crowd is not buying into you. You got to change something.
think about it too. It's John Cena was the same way when he first came
He
in.
was like, dude, and he was probably telling him backstage, like, yeah, yeah, it sounded like a diss, but really, I'm trying to help you. He was probably telling him the same shit backstage, but in a nicer way, because of course, on TV you're feuding and you hate each
Yeah,
other. But on backstage, like, look, most of what I said is true.
if you can find a
You
way
got
to
to
improve.
work. He was like, dude, you got to work on something. He was probably telling him backstage, like, I was in the same boat as you, man. I had a character that just didn't work. I had to change, or I was getting fired.
And as we always talk about too, the biggest what if. What if
If
John?
John Cena didn't change his character, he got fired. He wouldn't even be in Hollywood right now.
And also, we would call him one of the greatest of all time in WWE history, for that
Yeah,
matter.
hell, you wouldn't even have the announcers. You wouldn't even have the company itself telling him that he's the GOAT
Which is,
on live broadcasts.
and look, we're not saying this facetiously, but just picture this. It's like at the state of WWE, because obviously I think this is after, was it 2000? Because they were looking for a face of the company. Since after Brock left? I think it
No,
was.
they were looking for initially, right, when Cena got there in 02.
Oh, I wish I would
They
forget
were
that.
thinking, okay, Brock Lesnar's the face. This new guy, John Cena, he has potential. I don't know. Like, and then they were like, yeah, this character's not working for him. We're gonna cut him.
And all it had to take Stephanie
And all
McMahon. I
it
think
had
that
to take was Stephanie McMahon to say, dude, you can rap. What is this? Freestyling? He's like, all right, freestyle to me. He did. Like, we're making that your character.
and
And then the sky was the fucking limit. She opened up the damn roof for the guy.
and he's become the next right now the guy that he pretty much held that company for well over a decade or boy, we think about it, over 2 decades, which is crazy.
And I know fans for years have been saying thank you, John, but really we should be saying thank you, Steph.
Yeah, I mean,
one.
that pretty much saved that dude's career because
Save that man's career.
I mean, without John Cena, we wouldn't have any memorable moments with him. Like, and let's be real, so probably the greatest feuds he's ever been with. Let's be real, him and Edge. I think in the mid 2000s, like 05.
That was 06.
Yeah,
that was the era where he was doing sex celebrations twice in 2 weeks. That same feud.
Yeah. And yeah, by the way, it was slightly before they became PG in 2008.
This is literally 2 years shy of PG. 2 years shy. They're doing sex celebrations in the middle of the ring like it was freaking porn, dude.
Well, not just that, but he also had John Cena making like subtle sexual innuendos.
I don't think what he said to Lita though was subtle.
Oh no, yeah, it was clear and obvious of where.
At her and said, "You a hoe." I'm like,
oh,
shit.
I think John Cena also does have some underrated feuds as well. I think him and Dolph at one point, I thought was actually pretty okay.
Yeah, I thought that feud was okay too. That was when he started doing the damn stunner off the damn top rope, or whatever the hell he was doing.
Yeah,
because he was trying to experiment with like different moves. I'm like, dude, that
because the biggest knock on him was like, the 5 moves of doom.
I'm like, that it wasn't the 5 moves of doom. It was more so him experimenting with different moves. I'm like, dude, that move does not work for you. Stop using it.
Or the fact, or not just the stunner off. No, I'm sorry, that's the leg drop you're talking about off the top.
No, it was like he jumped off the middle of the rope and he stunned somebody.
Oh yeah, that was
I'm like, dude, quit doing that. That doesn't work.
And prior to that, he also was experimenting doing a leg drop off the top turnbuckle. It's like, yeah, this.
I'm like, that doesn't work for you either. Your leg is always hitting the guy's head. It doesn't work.
See, yeah, but
He
overall, like I
stopped
said,
doing it, and then he did like some like weird like karate move in Australia that one time.
yeah, I was like, what is? I
I
kind of
thought
raised an
was just
eyebrows. Like,
because he was Goofy Cena. He was the funny guy. He was ha ha funny. It was supposed to be for laughs. I'm like, this shit was corny. That wasn't even funny. That was corny.
but look, as we said, I mean, look, his push was, boy,
Prominent. Dude,
you could see it each and
by
every.
dude, by like I knew when he won at Mania 20, they were gonna strap a rocket to that guy.
And well, always say the rest is history, so to speak.
When he
Uh,
won that US title against Big Show at Mania 20.
no, it was the undisputed belt, or wasn't?
No, no, Rob, it was the US
I don't
belt.
remember. To be honest,
He
I
had
don't remember the Big Show holding the United States belt at all.
He had the U.S. belt. He won it from Brock, I think. Or no, he won it from Angle in 03. And he held it until 04. But it wasn't really like a. Oh no, we won it from Eddie. Because remember, it was the same feud where Eddie tainted the burritos and he was shitting up his pants. The same feud.
Oh yeah, that's oh boy, that was just funny. But
Where's the
like
toilet paper? You took the toilet paper.
but yeah, I mean, look, there's gonna be certain and as we're saying, going back to the thing where Grayson or not Grayson War, but with guys like Braun Breaker and Carmelo, I think they're definitely going to try to at least get somewhat of the John Cena treatment if they, because when you watch how they do, how they perform at NXT, like, you can't tell me otherwise that they're going to be the next faces of this company. Whether you have Carmelo could be on SmackDown or for wherever that matter, like there's superstars aplenty down in this company because boy, it's like not just because of this like wrestling, we've been very spoiled because of the wrestling landscape has right now probably the best booming period that we've seen in
Hell, we've been spoiled's the right thing. Look what's coming back in January. We got freaking TNA back.
yeah, it's
Like spoiled's the right word, in my honest opinion.
and look, and I'm very happy with where WWE's at, and the fact that as much as I know we hate Saudi shows, but that's our little nitpick. But they actually, as much as we hate to see it, but they actually know how to put on some decent matches in Saudi shows. But
no, not really. No, not really.
well, besides,
People are still bashing Saudi shows for being an afterthought because they always book them as afterthoughts
yeah, true.
because they know no one's watching them.
Speaking, so we have a former WWE star made his in-ring return, and that's the human ragdoll machine. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Spike motherfucking Dudley is back in the ring.
No fucking way. Freaking wrestling just got even crazier. What the fuck?
So Spike,
I didn't even know that. What the fuck? Yo, we're going to see a Dudley. Oh, dude, Spike Dudley. Spike Dudley's back. Holy shit.
it really
Wasn't he a freaking realtor for a while after wrestling? What the?
I don't know.
He was a fucking realtor for some place. I think it was like a realtor in North Carolina or some shit. I don't know, but like, he's back.
Yeah,
Dude. Oh my god, wrestling just got even crazier.
so
What the hell?
so not all. But yeah, so according to Andrew Raven, so pretty much said, former WWE star returned to the ring for his first match in several years. So Spike Dudley made it to the big time. We all know how he is, boy, and God bless him
I
for all.
remember that one time when he got absolutely spiked by freaking La Resistance in 03, and his head hit the freaking table.
Not barely clipped the table. God, that
barely clipped the table. His head full on the edge of that shit.
Oh, it's like, like I said, me Tara, we are not being facetious, but if you go back to some of the bumps that Spike Dudley has taken over the years, I'm thinking to myself, boy, how's this dude not even like either one, didn't have a concussion, or some of the shit that he's putting his body through. And also his last match was back in 2015. I didn't know he was still fucking wrestling until up till 2015. That he was with WWE until 2005. Also found success by as a single star by holding the European Hardcore and Cruiserweight titles. Obvious, but it had a run runs in TNA from 06 to 07 and then 09 to 2014. His last match was 2015, and it's now 8 years later. He is back in a wrestling ring since
Dude,
then.
we got CM Punk
What
back.
the fuck is going on at this?
We got CM Punk back last week. Now we got freaking Spike Dudley back in wrestling this week. What the fuck is happening right now?
So moving on to that. So the return, obviously over the weekend, the former WWE/ECW star made his return
Dude,
to in-ring
and in the
act.
same year, we got freaking Maven back.
Oh yeah.
Like, what is happening?
So over the weekend, the former WWE/ECW star made his return to in-ring action by wrestling at a live pro wrestling event in New Bedford, Massachusetts, against Leon St. Giovanni.
Son of a bitch, he came back in my neck of the fucking woods too.
Pretty much.
What the fuck? Yo, the wrestling gods is like, they hate me, but it's like, here's some crazy shit. I'm done.
But
Dude.
and that's what we're saying too. Like the change, the landscape of professional wrestling, whether you're a WWE fan or you're like the alternatives or the indie scene, like it is.
Now, when they say never, Rob, I really believe that shit now.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
We've seen. It's the most crazy shit that we've ever seen, especially in a very long time.
If I would say that Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas are tagging again, making the world's greatest tag team again, I'm gonna flip.
If they do that, I say, you know what? I'm done. Shut up and take my money at that point.
This year is the best year ever. I'm done. I'm gonna call it the best year damn ever after that. If that happens.
I mean, look, it is actually great to see the wrestling business actually have a nice, very booming period. Whether, like I said, we're seeing guys that Pete Tower used to watch as kids somehow make a return that I didn't know they were still wrestling.
This ain't just a boom. This is a Michael Bay level explosion right now.
Yeah, and
a Michael Bay level explosion. Holy shit!
So, yeah, because when I saw this, this would be a nice thing to talk about. So, Spike Dudley, whoever thought?
I love how you said, "Oh, here's a talking point talking about the first thing." Didn't send me shit about Spike Dudley.
I thought
you wanted a reaction out of me, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
God damn it!
Hey,
hey, that's a good reaction. That's a nice surprise. I'm happy about that.
Speaking of another return, so WWE is actually planning to bring for Sheamus's return. Now, a lot of people are wondering, why Sheamus has been on TV after his last match with Edge. Come to find out, he was kind of silent with a shoulder injury for a while.
I kind of figured because he was really holding his arm for most of that match. And he looked a bit banged up, so I kind of understood why. Open your eyes, wrestling fans. That's why.
Well, some
of them, but the guy was holding his damn arm. Yeah, he could be working us, but he really was limiting himself in the ring because he couldn't move his arm.
Yeah, and we saw that as because at times, and meantime, we've seen, when wrestlers have a shoulder injury, like their range of mobility is not the same. Like you can see there's some sort of setback. So
we had to go through that with sports.
Yeah,
Drew Brees, he fucked up his arm so bad that he can move his arm for.
And he had to switch arms when throwing the football.
He couldn't throw with his dominant arm because he injured that arm in 2004. Now, back to wrestling. Yeah, they kind of blur the lines of what injury is real and what's not because sometimes they do the fake hobble or the fake, my arm. But, if you notice when they're doing moves, they're acting like nothing ever happened. But Sheamus literally could not move his arm for some of that match. He had to work through that. So I get that, why he was out. Yeah, he's hurt. I wasn't all clamoring ever since the Edge match. Book Sheamus. What are they doing? Book Sheamus. I wasn't upset about that. And a lot of fans who understand why he was out, they're not upset about that too. So fans, you gotta read into the situation a bit better.
So pretty much, as Andrew Evans actually put this out on WrestlingNews.co, which you guys should go check that out as well. Which is a great, obviously, a great source of if you guys want to get your wrestling news outside. So, but overall, it said, obviously Sheamus, we all know he's probably one of the let's be real, still a phenomenal talent at his age. Obviously, we know his best feud was that triple threat IC title match, which with Gunther,
Oh,
Gunther and Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle. That was
that was damn near perfection. That match was. Holy shit.
But also the former WWE champion has been silent with a shoulder injury as his last match happened in a loss to Edge on the August 18th SmackDown. So the plans to return was that, speaking on the Wrestling Observer Radio, which I know me and Tara have our mixed reactions with them, Brian Alvarez was recapping last week's SmackDown that he noted that Holland walked out on Butch in a recent match. This past week, there was a segment where Pretty Deadly was making fun of Butch, and WWE teased Butch getting some backup. So, look, from just that section alone, it seems like we're going to get Sheamus's return sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we're going to get the Brawling Brutes back, man. And guess what's going to happen? We're going to get banger after banger. And so on and so forth.
And almost, the fact they almost, thank God they didn't say the, as well. But, yeah, honestly, I kind of do miss Sheamus on television, to be quite honestly. Don't get me wrong.
There's like a glaring hole in SmackDown.
I think
it's just like with him not there, it's just like something's missing.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I was one of those people, because everyone when he came back with as like the new version of himself, where he had his beard done and actually had a mohawk, like, why was that a thing? First of all, you do not look good with a mohawk when you came back.
You looked cool with that shit. Don't lie to yourself.
It did, but it just didn't fit him. I remember that.
It did. I thought it looked cool.
But
I think it fit him. I think that shit fit him like a glove, bro.
And it really is. And with Sheamus though, and as we said, Sheamus is one of those guys, like, even before he even got hurt, like, the dude held SmackDown, down pretty well. Actually puts on, and it really makes SmackDown actually pretty good. Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. I had a hiccup coming on. So, but, and I will say this too, though, I think SmackDown's going to be also be good to look when Sheamus, boy. Now,
that crowd is going to do whatever city they go to when he returns. That crowd is going to,
and also
fucking erupt.
Another match I want to see. I hope we get this at some point. Sheamus, Logan Paul for the United States Championship. Give me that.
Odd little matchup there, but considering Logan Paul is actually competent as a wrestler,
why then
why the fuck not?
Yeah, I mean, at the same time too. And speaking with Logan Paul, though, is look, as much as you want to, I mean, well, that's kind of what he's, But one thing I will give Logan a lot of credit to, he's given the United States title a lot more exposure, because me and Taro always thought, because the United States title has been obviously viewed as an afterthought to an extent. It doesn't feel like it's one of those mid-card titles that no one wants to chase.
For me, it was like when Austin Theory had it. He was off TV for a week. He wasn't hurt. He was just off TV. Came back, and then it was still fucking an afterthought. And then Ray won it, and I'm like, I don't know about this. I don't know, but
and then
I know it's only been like 2 weeks since he won. He came back. It's been a week since he came back with the title, but he actually was wanting to. He literally was saying, if you want to come get this title, come get it. Face me. We haven't had a champion that did that.
No, not at all. And like I said, I have to give Logan Paul some credit to actually trying his best to give that title some exposure, because right now, if you're talking about in terms of the mid-card titles, right now people want is the IC belt, because that's what most mid-carders are chasing it nowadays.
Yeah,
And
because Gunther, he's doing the same thing Logan's doing now. If you want this title, come face me. Come
and
get it.
and well, I would sad. Well, I hope to be no
Hell,
suck.
even a fucking heel faced him for the damn title at a pay per view, and where they and they're still in a heel versus heel feud. Even the heels want to go after Gunther. You know how much prestige this guy made the title, or even the heels
Very.
want to go
I
after
say,
the guy.
what are we at? Over like 530 some plus odd days? Because let's like I said, I lost count.
I
Well,
lost
kind of like
count too. Like,
the last time I ever. Well, then again, the other stupid thing I counted. I'm kind of not proud of this. It was R-Truth's 24/7
and
I-95 title.
he was
I
like,
don't know
he
why I
wanted
kept
things.
counting that
He
for whatever.
said with a straight face the exact number that he held the title for, and I'm like, how the
The
fuck
fuck
do
do you
you
know
count
that? I
that shit?
said I kept count.
I lost count after maybe like 5 to 10 times.
And what's also crazy about look, I know Archer is never going to be a main adventure. We always know that.
He nearly
But
was in 2011 though.
yeah, they had an opportunity there,
He
and
had the opportunity there, but the Golden Shovel, 2011.
yeah,
Ugh.
he had it right there. And don't get me wrong, boy, I mean, some of the best moments that or Truth has had. I mean, the little Jimmy thing, boy, that was just fucking funny as shit.
Jimmy.
um, and it's kind of crazy too. The fact he didn't look like he aged the last 20 something more years. Even though the fact he's 51 or 52, it's like, are you sure? Because he's definitely not showing it. That's for sure.
Bro,
Um,
dude, I looked back when he had his first run in 2000, and also looked back at his run in TNA in 2002, and I look at him now.
that's like
Nothing changed.
nothing changed.
Nothing.
Um, but yeah, I mean, look, we do have some AEW stuff, but Full Gear, I know people have their mixed reactions with it. But this year's Full Gear actually did better than their other event, Wrestle Dream. According to, I think it was, I saw that there was over 100,000 pay per view buys. God, can't even get the damn B out of, can't get the letter B correctly. But yeah,
Happens.
so and obviously, from my understanding, because like I said, me and Sarah haven't really watched, but for seeing some of the reactions, obviously right now we all know that the best match tonight was probably the Texas Death Match, which was Swerve Strickland and Adam Hangman Page.
And it brought out like a psychotic like side of Swerve too, and I liked it. I
I'll
liked that
say
side of him.
it,
But keep that going. Keep
it
that shit
really is,
going. Um.
and it kind of.
Also, can we keep Prince Nana on TV, please?
and,
With the dancing shit, it's funny as hell.
and it's very catchy because it gets a lot of people doing it as well. Now, yes, me and Charlie, we haven't really been doing AWS the past few weeks. So, and I actually did put it, and obviously for those who have seen the community post, because I was asking y'all, if you guys want to see it, as well, because I know you guys been, y'all been,
Bro, your southern side just came the fuck out there.
yeah, I know.
You busted out a y'all on
Hey, look, I gotta embrace my southern side. So,
That's what I do sometimes. I say y'all because I have a southern side too. So,
but Mike, like me and Tarek really couldn't be more appreciative of the guys who've been showing up and showing out. Whether it's you with me and Tyler on SmackDown or Raw, or you're coming out hanging out with me on NXT, and it kind of got me thinking. It's like, and I was going to ask y'all, do you guys want to see a AEW return, mostly Dynamite, and
then this man made a third option saying screw AEW or
screw
screw
NXT?
NXT. And then he had 9% on that bitch. I'm like, how do you get 9% hating NXT that hard?
Hey, look, like I said, we don't. Like I said, we try to appease everybody. I would say, but
Yeah,
like I said,
and the fans want it back. They want AEW back. They want AEW back,
so
and the reason why we axed it was because we weren't really we felt like that the product was weaker than it was in years past, so we
but
stopped watching it. But
but from
our fans have been clamoring get AEW back, get
and
AEW
I've been
back.
seeing
So
some positive reactions the last couple of weeks. It's like,
it won't hurt.
yeah,
And
but
also we got to listen to our fans.
yeah,
I listen to the fans, and
Like I said,
And
we try to do as much as we can.
if you want AW back, and we're bringing it back.
Yeah, so we'll as well. But last and final thing before we get to your guys' favorite segment of this show is Cole Guess the Wrestler's theme. So Matt Hardy kind of talked about his speaking about it, how him and Jeff are being used, and like I said in AEW, like I'm not surprised because let's be real, the Hardys are well past their prime. I mean, look, we're not saying that's a bad thing, but it's like at least try to at least be somewhat competitive with the Hardys. And I've been seeing people say, "Oh, the Hardys went out," and some like unreliable sources, but you know, I can sense a little bit of frustration with Matt. To Matt's side of things, I don't know how much more can you do because you've been doing this for well over 20 something odd years. I mean, you and Jeff are well,
They're established at this point. They're Hall of Famers at this point. But here's the thing. I feel like everyone, including them, had that notion that they would go to AEW, maybe have one good tag title reign, and then they'll decide to put people over. I don't think in the contract or what Tony said, like if Tony flat out said, sorry, you're gonna have to put people over here, they wouldn't sign.
Yeah.
I feel like Tony promised them a bit more and then they were given nothing. And that's also a big issue AW has.
Yeah.
They promised these guys and gals a lot of things and a lot of things don't happen.
Yeah. And
it's basically what WWE was in 2018.
No, for sure.
Because the roster's too bloated, you're making 1,000 promises and you can't even
you can't push everybody.
You can't push everybody.
And we're seeing, and like I said, going back to, and I think Triple H has seen that. So, okay, so we got to, because there are certain wrestlers like they can't get over, even with like not just organic, but even with the company's help. What I mean, it's pretty much a lost cause at this point, and and it sucks because we hate seeing wrestlers losing their jobs, but unfortunately, they don't know how to come to a harsh reality. It's like, look, if you can't get over on the big time, maybe going big time isn't for you. And look, I don't want to come off as sound as a complete jerk, but I'm trying to. How do I explain this? Without saying like a complete freaking ass of myself. It's basically what I'm trying to say.
It's just the fact of the matter that you can't push everybody. But the problem is, it's not just it's not that you should side with the company. You should side with the Hardys in this point because it's like they were promised one more title reign.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying because
they were promised one more. But the thing is, again, the roster's just too damn bloated right now.
It hurt. It's really hurting a little bit.
It's hurting not just the company but the talent. It's too damn bloated. You're signing everybody out like off the street or WWE let this guy go. Let me sign him. You can't do that.
And that's kind of like the bad thing because I mean, look, when WWE had that hiring freeze, it's done wonders for them. And I think AEW has to follow suit and actually put on a hiring freeze and start working with what you got.
Here's what WWE did, and I think it was absolutely genius. This year, TKO stepped in and they said, listen, anybody that we're not going to use, we're cutting. That's why Elias is no more. This is why a lot of the talent is no more.
Dana Brooke, boy, and
Dana Brooke, she should have been gone 5 years.
She should have been gone the last couple of years. Like, I'm the fact that she had the stars, but that's besides the point.
But you had a lot of the talent that they weren't using. I'm like, if you're not going to use this talent,
like let them go, cut them and let them go explore elsewhere.
Let them explore elsewhere. They get booked better here than they're there. But the thing is, you want to hoard all this talent and not use half of them. This reminds me of WWE in 2018.
And yeah, boy,
you gotta put a limit on these things. Hire the wrestlers that you're planning to use.
Yeah, and you got to be more smart about it. It's what we're saying.
That's like in football. And that's another thing too, John. That's a great question. That's a huge question mark because of this too.
because
What if
there's been rumors and reports.
what if Mercedes Monet goes there? What's going to happen to her booking? We don't
Gonna get
know
lost
because
in
of
the.
how bloated. We don't know because of how bloated that roster is.
Now, would have been nice
Like let's look at it through a human like body standpoint. If you're eating a lot of food and you're super bloated, you're gonna have to release that food
yeah,
eventually. That's the same
yeah,
thing with wrestling. If you have a bloated roster, you're gonna have to release some people.
yeah, you gotta start doing, and and as much as and yeah,
And
I
there's
couldn't
quite
agree
a few
more.
talent. There's quite a few talent that I don't mind them releasing because they're not using them. The workhorsemen need to go. Um, Abaddon for sure.
Yeah,
They only used her sparingly the last month or so.
I mean, shit, they just used her. They're gonna use her again this on this upcoming collision against Kara Hogan.
Didn't I mean? But here's the thing,
Or
though.
was that last week?
That was last week.
Oh, why am I
Um,
jumping ahead?
but
But yeah,
but hold on, let me finish. They only used her one time because it was Halloween. Oh, we got a horror character we can use.
and let's be real, that street fight was a complete fucking was ass. That's all I'm gonna say.
Tell me, how does candy
But
corn
as
hurt?
to you,
How does candy corn hurt? It's candy, chewable candy.
let,
How does
let's
it
be real,
hurt?
the best Halloween candy
No,
of
it's
all
not.
time. Yes,
Take
it
that shit
is.
back. That shit tastes like fucking plastic.
Hey, shit, I could. Well, that's besides. Moving on. But
But
yeah, Tyler,
how does candy corn hurt? That match sucked, but whatever. They used her for Halloween because she's a horror character.
and
Well, the last horror character you had, he passed away.
unfortunate, which
And
was very,
also, that brings me to my next firing. Fire the fucking Dark Order.
they,
They've become jokes. They've become jokes. Hell, you had a good freaking female member. She freaking left that shit because they were like, yeah, she doesn't belong in a joke group. Even
oh,
AW started with a joke group. That was Anna J.
oh yeah.
Anna J was in Dark Order, and they said, "Oh, they're a comedy troupe now.
I
They're
mean, I think,
basically they're basically they're basically freaking impractical freaking jokers of wrestling.
oh yeah,
A
definitely for
freaking
sure.
comedy troupe."
And
And,
honestly, and what's
do you think this question? Do you think
right,
do you
right about now?
do,
I mean, this would
right
be the
now
perfect time to
anybody?
start making your budget
They're
cuts.
gonna have to. They're gonna have to.
Because it's like, and look, we're not because like me and Tar, we like look, we'll bash AEW for stupid shit. We do the same thing with WWE. We do it right down the freaking middle.
Yeah, we're right down. We call it right down the middle.
But if AEW is doing a lot more stupid shit than WWE, yeah, it's like okay, so trying to put this in.
And for me too, it's like AEW and fans are like saying AEW is kind of like a zoo. He doesn't really know how to, manage his talent, which he doesn't. For
And I
one,
mean,
babies him, and he
and
also he's buddy with his talent. That's one problem. But the other problem why it's kind of like a zoo is because he has so much fucking talent on that roster. Half of them aren't even on TV.
I mean, at that point, I mean, and seeing this, and look, as much, and I mean, Warner, well, I don't say this is up to Warner Bros., but Tony's got to he's got to get the grow a pair because, like I said, as much as I want to, look, there's probably going to be countless videos on Tony Khan, and rightfully so, because boy, and me, like I said, me and Tar, we have our negative.
Dude,
Uh,
the thing is, every freaking fan I've seen on YouTube countless times blame Tony Khan for ineptitude, and I agree
rightfully
with that.
so.
The thing is, I hate to say it, it's kind of like his father
Yeah,
being
and
inept as a general manager. Like he's kind of like his father as
and
another.
and quite honest,
Let's sign everybody off the street. I don't care if they pan out or not.
and also at the same point too, I think I've seen a lot of people also bring up as well too. When Cody Rhodes left, yeah, you could tell that's a hard void to really replace or
See,
fill
even
in.
John L's with me. It tastes like plastic. Thank you, John L. Thank you.
Now, do I think AW? Like I said, I look. We sort of do want to see AW succeed, but changes have to be made ASAP. And if that's the case, because if you go back to what you had in 2019, that's look, because remember their roster was not bloated back in 2019. They had a lot of things going.
They had a solid roster.
Because it's like you got some storylines that you're not over reliant on hardcore matches. I mean, if you whatever it calls for, but
I mean, whenever it calls for it, they did use hardcore matches in 2019. They did. I feel like 2021, 2022, they became over bloated with hardcore
yeah,
matches. Because every match every pay-per-view match John Moxley was in, he had to have a hardcore stipulation behind it. But the thing is, that's one problem. The second problem is with me. Is that you don't need Collision anymore. You don't.
You don't need Collision and a Rampage for that matter.
I mean, yeah, you don't need that. You don't need that. You don't have
because if you just cut those two out,
you don't even need a fucking brand. I mean, you kind of do need a freaking brand split. Use that if you're gonna have Collision. Split that bitch. Brand split it. Make it a brand split type of thing.
Like split your roster down 50-50 and
split it 50-50. The only reason why they made Collision because of CM Punk's ass. He ain't even there anymore.
And Collision, it's been hard to get into ever since then.
Make it like a Raw and SmackDown. Brand split it. Brand split it to where you have half the roster here, half the roster there, and cut Collision. Or no, cut Rampage.
Because first of all, no one's the fact that you're going to complain about Rays. First of all, you're putting it you have on the wrong at the worst time slot you probably could have on television for that matter.
I know it's Friday night and everybody stays up late on Friday nights, but again, 10 o'clock at night. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know what's on before fucking Rampage? A movie.
Yeah.
You can easily take that time slot. Have the movie come on at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, because people always watch movies on late nights. It's plain and simple. But moving on from I forgot to mention this too. The Undertaker, a guy that he's the kind of let's be real, all-time great. Like there's a lot of names you could probably call him, the all-time great, the GOAT, whatever the case may be.
Now, John L, before we move on, John L, you said they're not ever going to release Britt Baker. If they keep booking her poorly, she's gonna ask.
I mean, she's already shown her frustration at times.
She's already ticked off. She's already ticked off the company. Like she's not being booked well, and she ticked off by it. And she's like, dude, I'm not like, dude. They had me in this good storyline where I was helping my boyfriend beat up Jericho at one point. And then after that, they had me in a 4-way match for the world title. And then after that match, they're not even using me for TV. See, that's her problem. Like, she's not being used. She is a prominent star in the company, and she's not being used.
Yeah. So, last and final thing, topic of the night before we get to guest wrestler's theme. The Undertaker is actually pushing WWE to induct a former star into the Hall of Fame. Now you're probably wondering, who is this former star you're asking? Dustin Rhodes or Goldust.
Yep.
Why the hell not?
Dude, I absolutely fucking agree with Taker.
Because let's be real, Dustin Rhodes has been Look,
Dustin Rhodes is going to retire in 2024. It's already been announced.
and he's been wrestling since 1988 for
He's
crying
been
out
wrestling
loud.
since 88. He made the memorable character to Goldust, who had some funny moments over the years. Love it. Love the character. Love his work ethic. Hell, when he went to AEW, he completely reinvented himself. He was half Goldust, half himself, pretty much, with the face paint being half,
Mm-hmm.
and the gear looking like Goldust's gear but darker. He reinvented himself a bunch of times. He's a great worker. Great worker, great promo guy. He has the talent. And I agree with Taker. Put the guy in the Hall of Fame.
Because, I
Once
mean,
he
look, we all know
retires.
the 2024 class has got some pretty good names going into this year. Obviously, with Bray Wyatt, Batista is definitely should be going in there at some point. And I can't remember the other two. I think there's like 4 candidates right now. That's
No,
the
it's
other two.
Bray Wyatt, Batista that's supposed to be going in. He was supposed to be in
I think it was last year.
last year, but he opted out of that too. I think he said he wouldn't opt in until he actually could go.
Right.
But with his movies and all the heavy workload, he isn't going to be inducted for well over a few years.
Yeah.
Unless he's free this year, lo and behold. So you got Bray, possibly Batista, and then some others that could be in.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, and then obviously Dustin, like I said, Dustin Rhodes. I mean, look, you can go watch all the memorable moments like of him in WWE on Peacock. And you can look at his highlights on YouTube as well. Like there's countless highlights of Dustin Rhodes over the years. And yes, that does include the dying days of WCW. Boy, I don't know why I even had to say that coming out of my mouth, but I regret saying that already. But that's besides the point. But let's some time onto your favorite segment. Shout out to Keith for that segment as well.
I only have
Guess
one
the wrestler's
today.
theme song.
I only have one today. All right.
Okay.
Let me get my phone out. Here. This is my current phone. I'm using my old phone to stream with, by the way. Are you ready?
Shoot, lay it on me.
You tried to tell me what to do. I saw the door and kicked it down. I stepped right over and right through. And you can never stop me now.
Is that Shelton Benjamin?
No.
Damn it. Good. Why could never keep me. For some reason, when I heard the word down, is from Shelton Benjamin's Gold Standard theme. For whatever reason, that popped in my head. It's the first minute when you said the word down. Okay, so what year are we on? What? Mid 2000?
It's current.
Oh, current. Oh, son of a bitch. Not kicking the door and I go through it. Huh. Man or a woman?
It's a man.
Okay, so man, current. Raw or SmackDown?
Raw.
Okay, Raw. Holy crap. I am blanking. Holy shit.
I'm gonna give you a few minutes.
No, it's not Jake Gable. Oh my god, who is it?
You stumping?
I see the face, but the name's it's starting to piss me off. It's right on the
give up. Did you give up? Cody Rhodes.
Who?
Cody Rhodes.
How the hell's it? Holy fuck!
I gave you the middle of the freaking song.
That's my god! Now I gotta.
Cody Rhodes, man.
Why? Oh god, I hate myself now. I hate myself. I don't remember those lines.
Because I cut it off too. I was sly with it. I cut it off. The next line was talking about how he's a king.
Damn it!
So
I hate myself for not knowing that.
It's part of Kingdom. It's part of that song Kingdom, bro.
And so overall, you got me on phone Randy Orton burning my life, which that still pisses me off because I listened to his team all the goddamn time, and now this. Well, then again, almost at the same time, almost threw John Cena out the fucking window, but that one been
No, that was a win. That was a win. I'm not counting that. I'm not counting the Johnson one. That was a win.
Right. So Randy Orton from the early to mid 2000 or early 2000s, and now Cody Rhodes. What the flying fuck? God, I hate myself.
Now next, I'm gonna give you a freaking Ted DiBiase line, and then you get stumped by that, and I'll stump you in Legacy. That's a Legacy stump if I get you with that one.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. I'll give you that.
So I only gave you the one this week because I had another one, but I completely blanked on who the wrestler was. So I was like, I'm just gonna give him the one.
And also, before we get out of here, at least it can't be worse than Tyler whiffing on Mr. Candy right in front
of Shut up about that. I'm still beating myself up about that, man.
Like Mr. Kenny and Christy Hemme, both in the same goddamn era. His era.
But here's the thing. All I remember from Christy Hemme's theme is that cheery ass fucking music. Not the lyrics, just the cheery ass music.
Yeah. But outside of that, like I said, we are going to be back again in 30 minutes for Monday Night Raw as well. Like I said, and yeah, but overall, it's been nothing but fun. Obviously, it's going to be, like I said, we greatly appreciate for actually has hung out with some of these episodes since our audio of the show's days. Yeah, and the fact we're over 60 episodes in is phenomenal.
And over 1,000 subs on YouTube too. My God, man.
Outside of that, if you guys new, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe, make sure to turn that notification bell. We are going to be back at it Raw. And that being said, we'll see you guys in 30 minutes.
Peace.